Gemini, how is everybody? Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. It looks like you've been successful with something. Starting off with the Queen of Cups. Feeling sentimental. Your emotions may have you second guessing something right now. Maybe there's something that you're sorting through. It looks like you're moving towards something big. It seems too like when you choose the particular direction that you move into, any confusion that there had been before kind of dissolves. This is what I'm seeing. Because before you may have felt conflicted about something because you weren't sure where you stood emotionally, but it seems even like when you commit to a direction that you don't feel that sense of confusion anymore. It kind of resolves whatever it was that you were working through. So it seems like a moment where taking action does definitely help you deciding on something. It's like, will this make me happy? Will this not make me happy? And maybe that was the question too. It's like, if I pursue this, is this in alignment with my pursuit of happiness? Because I'm seeing something big that you like have been taking the time to consider and just sorting through what you are feeling. I'm getting like a pretty like patient, calm, sort of like meticulous type of energy. You may not necessarily like always perceive yourself as that, but I'm getting like if somebody were to look in on your process, they would see you like really putting a lot of care into a choice that you're making. I'm hearing making it count. So I do get the feeling of being flustered by something. Maybe like something that you heard, something that you saw, something about somebody's opinion about a direction that you wanted to go in. I even get this sense of like self-consciousness where it's like you may emotionally feel like really in your head about this and be like, everybody can tell that I'm like freaking out about this. But it's like people looking in aren't necessarily seeing that. Because as I said before, like I was picking up on like quite a composed, like poised type of energy. So there may be something where you feel like you're showing a very vulnerable face to the world even, but like that's just your perception of how you're being perceived, but you're not actually being perceived in that way. But you may be like talking to somebody that could be helpful as far as something that you're sorting through on the emotional front. Seems like somebody's like open and curious and wanting to listen to what's going on with you. A friend. This is somebody that would provide you with some type of emotional support. Somebody that cares about the state that you're in. Absolutely. Yes, I'm getting deep, deep vibes from this. So I'm seeing somebody that you feel like in a way is cut from the same cloth as you, and like they may be somebody that's more talkative. It's like when they see that something is bothering you or you're upset by something or that you're just like not yourself. And I'm seeing this be like somebody close to you. This can be like a sibling, a friend, a partner, something like that. A parental figure. I'm seeing this person come through and be like, hey, I see that you're like this. What's going on with you? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to get together? And I'm seeing this person have an effect on you that like helps you even to like compose yourself. Like they may be somebody that like even through talking with them, it may be a coping strategy that you use. But I'm seeing somebody within a very, very grounded energy, and there's somebody that emotionally supports you, and there's somebody that also cares about what you're going through. And they don't want to see you going through a hard time. So it's like they're there to like help you in some sort of way. They care about you. And I'm seeing you relax. Something may have even been too taxing emotionally, and you were like, you know what, let me go to sleep tonight and pick this back up tomorrow. Because it may be something that's taking a lot of like focus and energy, and it seems like not just intellectual energy, not just air energy. I'm seeing this also be water, emotions. And you may have even felt panicked, like I have to do this now or I have to do this or that. And then I'm seeing there be a notion where like when you connect with this person, and this can also be another aspect of you, but if this is somebody outside of you, when you connect with them, it's like they help you to like ground your energy and you feel supported in a way that maybe you hadn't been feeling before. And I'm seeing you like relax and take your time with something and maybe not feel like you so readily need to do something. Like you can give it time and even be more patient, allowing something to come to fruition. I am seeing this also. Interesting. There may be somebody that you're close with that you're going to set boundaries with, and you may take a little bit of a break or a breather until you can collect yourself enough to be like, I know what I need to say to them. I know what I'm going to communicate with this person. Because there may be something going on where you feel like something's happening that maybe you're not okay with, or you need to communicate something or advocate for yourself or set boundaries with someone. So I'm seeing you feel like a lot is going on emotionally. I'm seeing you get to a point where there could even be something manifesting that you're like, you know what, I know that I start doing this when I'm really stressed out emotionally, so I'm going to take a break. So I'm seeing that happen here. So there's definitely like this large sense of self-awareness here about you and your process, and that like something was too taxing, and so you took a breather away from it. Now I'm seeing a direction or a project or something even new or something young. And this can be you being like, am I going to start this thing? Am I going to go in this direction? Do I want to work on this project? Is that an activity that I want to go towards? Is this a relationship that I want to be a part of? Whatever this is that you are like making moves towards, where you're like somehow going after within your life, I'm seeing you be at a point where you're like, I need to collect information about this. I need to understand it better, like before I move closer to it. So I'm even seeing you approach something and then there be a moment where you're like, I need to understand more about this before I step any closer. So I'm seeing this happen here, and I'm seeing you be like, I'm gonna take as long as it takes for me to get the information that I need so I can know where I stand when it comes to this. Meticulous, deliberate. I like this. There's very much like you giving yourself the space to take the time that you feel comfortable with, which is very important. And then I'm seeing something happening that may be connected with some sort of social gathering, and you being like, I'm not completely sure how I feel about this, and I need to sort that out enough so I can be in a space where I can like set boundaries or communicate what I need to communicate about whatever gathering, setting, group of people, environment this is. I need to figure out how I'm feeling about it enough to say, like, what am I comfortable with? What am I not comfortable with? Like, how do I need to show up for myself? How do I need to advocate for myself? And do that in a clear way. And I'm seeing something that you're going back and forth with, whether this be someone or this be you going back and forth with yourself about how you are going to present something to possibly like a relationship. Because I'm seeing this also be about you wanting to make sure that you feel grounded before you do something. Grounded on the emotional front, feeling centered, feeling calm, feeling like you're prioritizing your sense of peace before you go and connect. No major arcanas yet. This is interesting. It's reminding me a little bit of the Taurus reading. If you feel inspired, I welcome you to check out the Taurus reading. So we start off, I'm seeing so many 10s here, and this is like we've gotten to the climax of a situation, and now like things are really taking off, which also means that there are going to be a lot of new cycles that are starting for you. So the 10 of Pentacles is about like resources and security and feeling stable and all of that and reaching goals. I'm seeing this more so be related to like resources or like a connection that you have and something that in a way like feels solid or represents stability to you in some sort of way. But then I'm seeing the 10 of Swords. So whatever that was is now coming to an end unexpectedly. It's like maybe you didn't expect to lose this, or you thought you were going to maintain this and you weren't expecting things to come to an end, but now they do. And because this happened unexpectedly, where like you could not have planned for this, there's so much stress that one is feeling because of this, because of how spontaneously this happened. But as I said before, like having all of these 10s here, it means that like something is at its limit now and it is going to be like changing over into a new cycle for you. So like this even like intensity is not going to be maintained. This is just the intensity of reaching the climax of a cycle. So know too that like you are in like the most intense moment of this cycle and it is not going to last. It is very, very temporary. So funny with all the synchronicities, because I'm seeing the 10s up here. Now I'm seeing 2 9s. It even seems like there's a countdown that's happening. So I'm looking at a wish fulfillment, right? So this is like something that you want, something that you hope for, and feeling like there's a barrier between you and that thing. And I'm looking at the star here. I do keep seeing the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, which, like, for some of you, this can be, like, a counterpart that we're talking about, meaning, like, a partner that you're close with. Can definitely be a romantic partner. It can be, like, a father figure as well. Like, an older masculine figure. It can also be related to a job, too. Okay. So there's something that you want, and then it feels like there's a barrier to get to that. But then I'm almost seeing like this barrier become lifted, and there's a potential of like reaching somebody and having contact with them. I'm even seeing it kind of be like you're on this side of the fence and the fence is here, and there's somebody on the other side of the fence, and they're like coming through to like come get you or to meet you or something like that. It's like maybe you can only go so far, and this person is kind of like looping back to meet you where you are. I'm seeing there even be a desire to like extend something to another person, but feeling like it has to go through like a whole maze in order to get out on the other side. And this can even be like a state of inner conflict as well that's being worked through too. It's like maybe somebody wants to make a gesture, but they can't within a particular environment. So they have to kind of like go back to the drawing board and kind of like build upon what they had been working on before. Wow, the Ace of Swords. So I'm seeing somebody come through and be like, I'm hearing I beg your pardon, maybe like a common phrase somebody uses. So somebody comes through and they're like attempting to make an offer to someone else, but I'm seeing there be like conflict in the middle. So it's kind of like in the midst of all of this stuff that's happening, somebody is trying to like come through and make a gesture, but I'm seeing like it's not going to translate just because of all of the like crisscross mismatched lines that are happening, which can be seen as like external and internal conflict. And I'm seeing somebody get to a point where they're like, you know what, I need to work on this, on what's going on here, and I need to ask myself, like, what do I want? When I look within, when I check in with myself and I ask myself, do I feel emotionally fulfilled? What is the answer that I find when I ask myself this? And what does that mean for me as far as what I'm going to be doing moving forward? What it looks like to me is that there could have also been, because of something ending or changing, this could have also led to some sort of like even unexpected argument that happened, and feeling in a way like something was a challenge. And it even seems like, because the Five of Wands is like this very intense like Mars energy where it's like I feel conflicted, like I'm feeling conflict between the two of us, and then have it like explode from there with the Tower, which does represent Mars. And then there be this notion of like, I'm even seeing something like exploding into like all of these different pieces, and rather than them like fraying, it's almost like rewinding something and like bringing it back together. So I even get the notion of like something breaking apart, maybe enough to even like tweak pieces and then bringing it back together to like heal and to work on something that had been very stressful, and like finally having a conversation that needs to be had that may have been difficult to have about like what's going on within the emotional space, and like, is this what I'm looking for? Is this what I want? Where do you stand with this? And all of that. And like getting the answers that you need and being able to go from there. I'm looking at Mars and Aquarius here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. In order for one to get what they want, there may have been some sort of challenge when it came to like a conversation or very important communication. Interesting. In a way, I'm kind of seeing like one party move towards another one, but they may have their back turned to them. So it's like one person is coming through towards this person, but this person has their back turned, so they're not seeing this other person come through because they're like very focused on working on things for themselves. I was also hearing isosceles, like a triangle. So maybe there's something going on here because I'm seeing this person like really working on something, and as I said before, like really asking themselves emotionally, like, is this worth sticking around for, or is this something where I feel like I could get what I need elsewhere? And there's no like obvious answer here. It's about like what each person comes to the conclusion of, but all for the sake of like getting to the bottom of everything and finding the truth and receiving that sense of clarity and like liberation through that sense of clarity that one is seeking. All right, my friends, at 21:44, we are going to leave it here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.